Hello everyone, welcome to Student Guide. This is Manizana Srin, and as we have promised, আমি কৈছিলো যে আমি Bodoland University B.Ed entrance tester বাবে probable questions MCQs লৈ আহিম আৰু আজি হৈছে তাৰে ভাগ অৰ্থাৎ part 2. So part 2 আমি কেটামান specific questions discuss কৰিম from the part teaching and research aptitude. Okay, যোৱা বছৰৰ Bodoland University B.Ed entrance testত teaching আৰু research aptitudeৰ পৰা almost 75% questions অহা দেখা পোৱা গৈছিলে হেকাৰণে মই ভাবো এই পোৰশনটো আপোনালোকৰ বাবে ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট হ'ব সো আমি আৰু দেৰি নকৰি MCQs ৰ মাজলৈ আহো so question number 1 is asking a teacher wants students to learn a new concept effectively which approach is most appropriate so যেতিয়া টিচাৰ জনে বিচাৰে যে ষ্টুডেন্টে কিবা এটা নতুন কনসেপ্ট ইফেক্টিভলি লাৰ্ন কৰক তেতিয়া হলে তাত most appropriate approach কোনটো হ'ব first option is saying only lecture of the concept no মই যদি কনসেপ্টৰ ওপৰত অকল লেকচাৰ দি দিও তেতিয়া হলে তোমালোকে সেই টপিকটোক ইফেক্টিভলি বুজি নাপাবা নেক্সট হৈছে connect the concept with students previous knowledge yes যেতিয়া আমি ষ্টুডেন্টৰ previous knowledgeৰ লগত নতুন কনসেপ্টটো কানেক্ট কৰি দিও তেতিয়া ষ্টুডেন্টে বেছি ভালদৰে কনসেপ্টটো গ্ৰেব কৰিব পাৰে সো I guess this is the right answer, but ami baki kita option sai lom. Ask students to memorize the definition. No, okol definition to memorize korile he concept to grab kora nubuzai and avoid examples to save time. No, examples or dorkar thakibo. So jihetu ei gote kita optioner bhitor B hoise the correct answer. So yat koa goise je teacher jone bisarise student e eta new concept effectively learn korok aru tar babe most appropriate approach to hoi jabo connect the concept with the students previous knowledge orthat studentor jikhini previous knowledge ase tar logot jodi ami tak relate koru ba connect koru tetia hole student khinie besi bhaldore topic tuk grab koribo effectively learn koribo okay so I guess tumaluke ei question tu buzi pala so we can move to the next one. Question number 2 is asking which activity belongs to the apply level of Bloom's revised taxonomy. So, ami bahut bar amar session of Bloom's taxonomy, Bloom's or revised taxonomy oporot discuss korisu aru yat question te hudi ase Bloom's revised taxonomy pora. So, apply level kuntu hobo. So, ami sai loisu define democracy, no. List of features of democracy, no. Use democratic principles to analyze a real classroom situation, yes. So, yat ki hoise যে কিবা এটা বস্তু এপ্লাই হ'ব গৈ আছে সো ব্লুমছ টেক্সোনমিত আমি এই এপ্লাই সেকশনটো কেতিয়া গম পাম যে ইয়াত ইউজ অফ ডেমোক্ৰেটিক প্ৰিন্সিপলস এখিনি যদি আমি অলপ সময়ৰ বাবে নেছাও তেতিয়া আমি গম পাম যে ইউজ অফ সামথিং ওকে টু এনালাইজ a real classroom situation classroomত কিবা এটা situation create হৈছে সেই situationটো ঠিক কৰাৰ বাবে আমি যদি কিবা এটা principle use কৰিছো apply কৰিছো so that will be comes under the Bloom's revised taxonomy of this section. That's why option number C will be your correct answer. Here is your answer. You can just look at this one. Question number 3 is asking, a researcher wants to know the study habits of B.Ed students in a college. Okay, so as a researcher is anibo khujise B.Ed students or study habits in a college, which method is most suitable for collecting information from many students yet many students or kotha koise question to sample or pora ahise so jehetu dher student or mazot many students or pora eta information collect koribo lage so tar babe best method ki hobo so first option is questionnaire of course questionnaire is the best method next is laboratory experiment no laboratory experiment ot ami many student ok add koribo nwaru case history only case history to ami many students or pora sabo nwaru because case history ami kisuman specific cases or history he sam many student ok tak involve nokoru next hoise observation of one student jodi ami ejon student ok observe koru ar tate bahut homoy gusi jay tetia hole ami ei many students eta huge number of people ba group ok ami target koribo nwarim so etu correct option nohoy so option number 1 is the correct one questionnaire through di ami kiba eta behavioral pattern jodi observe koribo bisaru for example B.Ed student hokolor study habit observe koribo bisarise to jihetu yat bohuto studentok ekeloge target kora goise hokolo studentor pa data lua jabo so questionnaire will be the perfect method for this one okay that's why option number A is correct and you can see the explanation and answer here okay next question number 4 is asking which classroom practice best supports inclusive education. Okay, মই আকৌ কৈছো inclusive education or questions আহি থাকে last time অটো বহুত questions দেখা গৈছিল even তোমালোকে বেলেগ বেলেগ ইউনিভাৰ্সিটিৰ এক্সাম অটো inclusive education ৰ পৰা questions দেখিছা so ইয়াত সোধা গৈছে যে which classroom practice best supports inclusive education. Let's read the options. First option is saying teaching only the average learners. Next saying giving the same support to every learner. Okay, hetuko manibo pari eta option hisabe. Next, providing suitable support according to individual learning needs. Okay, so option number C will be the perfect one. Why option number C is the perfect? Because yet koi ase first option to koi ase teaching only average learners. No, because আমি ইনক্লুসিভ এডুকেশনত সকলোকে প্ৰিফাৰেন্স দিও সকলোকে সমানে আগুৱাই নিয়াৰ প্ৰতিশ্ৰুতি দিও এন্ড তাত স্পেসিফিক্যালি যি সকল ষ্টুডেন্টক স্পেসিফিক নিডস থাকে যি সকলৰ তেওঁলোককো গুৰুত্ব দিও সো গিভিং সেম সাপোর্ট টু এভৰি লাৰ্নাৰ সেম সাপোর্ট নহব বিকজ ইয়াত ডিফাৰেন্টলি এবল চাইল্ড থাকে ডিফাৰেন্ট আইকিউ লেভেলৰ ষ্টুডেন্টস থাকে সো তেওঁলোককো টাৰ্গেট কৰা যাব আৰু সেই কাৰণে স্পেসিফিক approach hobo lagibo প্ৰত্যেকজন learner বাবে so providing suitable support according to individual learning need যদি হে student জনৰ IQ differ কৰে যদি হে তেওঁ differently able হয় so তেওঁক তেওঁৰ জুখেৰে বেলেগ এটা এপ্ৰোচেৰে তেওঁক সকলোৰে লগত সমানে আগুৱাই লৈ যোৱাটোৱে হৈছে ইনক্লুসিভ এডুকেশনৰ মেইন মোটো দ্যাটস ওয়াই অপশন নম্বৰ সি ইজ দ্য কাৰেক্ট ওয়ান তথাপি আমি অপশন নম্বৰ ডি চাই লৈছো separating learners with difficulties from the class no inclusive educationত আমি difficulty থকা ষ্টুডেন্টক কেতিয়াও সেপাৰেট নকৰো ওকে we include them that's why it is called inclusive education আৰু আমি আগতো আমাৰ সেশনত জনাইছো যে inclusive educationত আমি সকলো ষ্টুডেন্টকে সমানে গুৰুত্ব দিও আৰু যি সকল চাইল্ডৰ স্পেসিফিক নিডস আছে তেওঁলোকক আমি ডিফাৰেন্ট এপ্ৰোচেৰে সকলোৰে লগত আগুৱাই নিবলৈ ট্ৰাই কৰো that's why this is the question and this is your answer with a proper explanation you can just go through it. Next question number 5 is asking a researcher selects 50 students from a list by choosing every 10th student after selecting a random starting point. Okay, to researcher all of data asil প্ৰথম পইণ্টটো তেওঁ randomly select কৰিলে and after that he selects 50 students from after every 10th student. Okay, so 50 student তেওঁ select কৰাৰ method to eto lole je proti 10th number student or পৰা তেওঁ select কৰি যাব but first point to তেওঁ randomly select কৰিছে. Okay, so ইয়াৰ correct answer কোনটো হ'ব is it simple random sampling no simple random sampling হলে তেওঁ প্ৰতি 10 টাৰ পিছৰটো বা প্ৰতি 10th number of studentক select নকৰে simple random হলে যিকোনো এটাৰ pick up হোৱাৰ chances equal হৈ যায় systematic sampling hobo yes because he is working in a system every 10th number of student he is choosing okay so it is systematic sampling because next option is saying purposive so purposive hoise purpose based kori kiba eta specific sample collect koratu so purposive no hobo cluster sampling o yat no hobo so your answer hobo option number B systematic sampling here is your answer and a basic explanation. You can check. Moving to the next question, question number 6. A student gives an incorrect answer in classroom. What should an effective teacher do first? So it is very obvious. Tumaluke bhavishote jete teacher hoba tumalukor classroom ot konoba ejon student e kiba eta question or bhulke answer dile. So as a effective teacher, what you will do first, okay? As the student is giving an incorrect answer, so your response hisabe teacher jone ki koribo? Scold the student? No. Ignore the answer? No. Identify the misconcept and guide the student? Yes. Okay, so student jonor kunkinit bhul hoise identify koribo lagibo hetu teacher jonor duty misconception to clear koribo lagibo and student jonok guide koribo lagibo so option number C is the perfect answer for this one still we are going to check option number D it is saying ask another student to answer immediately no because hetu korile a student jonor jekhini misconception asil hekhini ketio clear no hobo and as an effective teacher it is our duty to clear all the misconceptions and guide the student. Okay, so option number C is your answer. Now moving to the next question, question number 7. Which of the following is the main purpose of a hypothesis in research? So hypothesis or main purpose ki hoy in the research. So first option is us saying to provide a tentative answer that can be tested. Yes, it is true. To provide a tentative answer. So hypothesis e ki kore eta tentative answer দিয়ে যে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ হ'ব পাৰে আৰু সেই আনসাৰটোক আমি কি কৰো আমি টেষ্ট কৰো কিছুমান টেষ্টিং মেথডেৰে অপচন নম্বৰ বি ইজ সেইং টু ৰাইট দ্য ফাইনেল কনক্লুজন নো নেক্সট টু কালেক্ট পাৰ্সোনেল ইনফৰমেশন নো to replace data analysis no so option number A is the correct answer for this question and here is a basic explanation with the answer you can check this one. So question number 8 is asking a teacher asked students to explain why a particular event occurred in history. So teacher jone student ok khudise je particular event eta history kyo hoisil kyo why okay why khudise so student jone tar answer to dibo lage and this mainly represents which level kuntu levelot e fall koribo remember ot fall koribo jano because particular incident eta kyo hoisil hetu explain koribo lage so e remember ot nahe e understanding ot ahibo niki yes e understanding ot ba understand level ot kyo ahibo because he particular incident to kyo hoisil for example Bengal partition or Bengal separation bongo vibhajon kyo hoisile so he kyo tur answer dibor babe student jonor understanding proper hobo lagibo so understand level is the best representative answer for this question that's why create no hoy because yate ko create hoy thoka nai evaluate no hoy because yate ko evaluation or kotha kua nai so option number B is the correct one here and this is your correct answer with a basic explanation. Question number 9 is asking a test gives nearly the same results. Okay, kiba ta test kora goisile aru test to nearly same result di ase protibare when it is administered repeatedly. Okay, so the test is doing repeatedly and every time the test completed you can see kind of similar results. So under similar conditions again at a test hole similar conditions thokatu joruri of course so similar conditions ot bare bare jete test to repeat kora goise same type of result pua goise so the test has good কি হয় এখিনিত আমি প্লট কৰিব লাগে সো যেহেতু সিমিলার কন্ডিশনসত বারে বারে টেস্ট টু রিপিট কৰোতে সিমিলার টাইপ অফ রিজাল্ট পোৱা গৈছে সো ইট মিন্স হে টেষ্টৰ ৰিলায়েবিলিটি গুড হয় উই ক্যান ৰিলাই অন দ্যাট টেষ্ট সো we will mark the option number B okay so the test has good reliability okay validity ami noko objectivity only no sampling or kothai nahe so jodi he eta test bare bare similar condition of conduct kora goise and we are getting similar types of results then we can say the reliability of the test is very good so this is your correct answer with a simple explanation. Question number 10 is asking a learner with hearing impairment is provided with sign language support in the classroom. Okay, so কোনোবা এজন learner আছে তেওঁৰ hearing impairment maybe partially or fully he is unable to hear okay hearing problem আছে তো তেওঁ classroomত sign language support provide কৰা গল okay so this is an example of example কি হ'ব so this is called accommodation option number A why accommodation because hey student jonok ami help korisu ami bisarisu jate teo bakikhini logote aguai jai as he has hearing impairment so we are giving sign language support to him that's why we are doing the accommodation part not exclusion because ami tek exclude kori dia nai not segregation ami tek separate kori dia nai not punishment ami punishment to dia nai so accommodation is the best answer. Here is your answer and here is your explanation you can go through it once. Question number 11 is asking which assessment is generally conducted during the teaching learning process to improve learning. Okay, so teaching learning process of learning to improve koribor babe kuntu method ইউজ কৰা যায় ফৰ এছেছমেণ্ট সো এছেছমেণ্টৰ কাৰণে কোনটো মেথড ইউজ কৰা যায় টিচিং লাৰ্নিং প্ৰসেছটোক ইমপ্ৰুভ কৰিবৰ বাবে এণ্ড আৱাৰ সেশন ইন আৱাৰ সেশন উই হেভ ডিছকাছড ইট সো মেনি টাইমছ এণ্ড দ্য আনচাৰ উইল বি ফৰ্মেটিভ এছেছমেণ্ট হোৱাই ফৰ্মেটিভ এছেছমেণ্ট বিকজ ফৰ্মেটিভ এছেছমেণ্টটো টিচিং লাৰ্নিঙৰ প্ৰচেছৰ মাজতে চলি থাকে উই ট্ৰাই টু ফৰ্ম ইট এণ্ড ডুইং দ্য এছেছমেণ্ট এট দ্য ছেইম টাইম ডেটছ ৱাই দ্য টিচিং লাৰ্নিং প্ৰচেছ can be improved okay summative কিয় নহয় because summative assessment শেষত কৰা যায় যেনে তোমালোকৰ semester exams or বছৰিকীয়া exam so summative exam summative assessment শেষত কৰা যায় that's why আমি তাক এটা correct option বুলি নেচাও entrance examination ই এটা assessment নহয় final examination to again summative assessment ত পৰে so যেতিয়া আমি teaching learning process to চলি থাকোতে assessment কৰো আৰু হেতুৱে learning to improve কৰে so that will be option number B formative one why formative one eta basic explanation dia goise moi yat akoi bar explain nokoru because in our sessions we have discussed this one so many times Question number 12 is asking a researcher studies the relationship between students attendance and examination marks without changing either variable okay so researcher ki korise relationship to sabo bicharise kihor majot students attendance aru examination marks or majot aru teo kono dhornor variable change kora nai so this is mainly a correlational study yat correlate kora goi ase duta segment of students or attendance aru examination or marks of e experimental nohoy e historical nohoy e case study nohoy this will be the correlational one okay so in correlational research examines the relationship between variables without manipulating them so correlational research ami variable ketio manipulate nokoru and we will get the result Question number 13 is asking which sampling method gives every member of a population an equal chance of being selected. This is the most easiest questions from the sampling part, okay? So, which sampling method gives every member of the population an equal chance of being selected? Equal chance প্ৰত্যেকটো sampler যদি থাকে of a population that will be simple random sampling, very easy question, okay? Question number 14 is asking a teacher asks students to work in groups and solve a problem together. So teacher students of group of work kori eta problem solve koribo dise this approach mainly promotes so a approach to ki promote koribo is it passive learning no is it cooperative learning yes is it rote learning no is it individual isolation no so we have got the correct answer is option number B because jetia group of join hoy student hokole eta problem solve kore so that ami cooperative learning buli ko okay yat root memorization or kotha nahe yat individual isolation or kotha nahe yat passive learning oru kotha nahe I definitely eta active cooperative learning jetia ami group of questions ba problems solve koru Next question number 15 is asking which task represents the analyze level. Okay, analyze level to kuntu task represent koribo. Memorize the definition no. Analysis or ba analyzing or ketio memorization nahe. Explain the meaning. It's not analyzing, so it is not a correct answer. Break information into parts. Okay, and then identify relationship. Yes. So, jetia ami analyze or kotha kau, tetia ami gom pam je informations khinik firstly we will break them into parts and then identify the relationship. So, option number C will be the correct answer here. Option number D is saying recall effect. No, it is kind of the memorization only. So, analyze boli kwar loge loge ami gom pam je we are breaking an information into parts and then identify the relationship between them that is called analyze or analyzing. Question number 16 is asking which of the following is an example of primary data. So, yar bhitor primary data kuntu hoy. So, first option is asking information collected directly through interviews. Yes, it is a primary data. A textbook, no, it is secondary one. A published research article, no, it is also a secondary one. A government report already published, no, it is also a secondary one. So yet sudha goise example of primary data. So tumaluke already gom poa je primary data hebur hoy jibur tumaluke nije directly you are collecting it from the field, okay, not a published one. So option number A is the correct one. Interviews, information collected directly through interviews from the field. Jitu tumaluke through interview nije directly data collect kori anisa, so that will be your primary one, okay. So jodi ami textbook or kotha kau, published research article or kotha kau, or already published government data or kotha kau, tetia hole ei gote khini kintu kihot ahibo secondary ahi jabo, okay. So published data khini hobo secondary data, aru jodi tumi directly you are collecting some data from the field through interviews, that will be your primary data. Or interviews নহয় তুমি কিবা instrument use কৰিও যদি data collect কৰিছা directly from the field, that will be the primary data. Question number 17 is asking the main objective of inclusive education is to. So inclusive education or main objective কি হয় আমি সকলোৱে গম পাওঁ, we just need to find it from the objectives. From the options. So teach only high achieving students, no, অকল যদি আমি high achieving students পঢ়াই গুছি যাও বা বুজাই গুছি যাও তেতিয়া হলে বাকি খিনি থাকি যাব আৰু আমি inclusive educationত সকলোকে আগুৱাই লৈ যাম. So this is not a correct answer. Provide equal participation and learning opportunities for diverse learners, okay. So ami inclusive educationot we provide equal participation and learning opportunities for diverse learners. Diverse buli koar loge loge different IQ level or learners ahi jabo, differently able learners ahi jabo, hokolo khinike hamori koa goise. So I guess option number B is the correct one. Still we will look for the next options. Separate students according to disability, no, we will never separate them. Reduce classroom interaction, no, we will not do that. So option number B is the correct one here, and you also can see an explanation given in here. Question number 18 is asking a teacher uses a short quiz after completing a topic to identify areas students have not understood, okay. So moi topic eta pohalu, topic to pohuar pisot moi jodi he topic tur pura eta short quiz rakhu jate tumalke kiman buji paisa ba dai poa he bostu to evaluate koribo paru, tetia hole the quiz is primarily used for. So a quiz to kyo pata goise? Option number 1 is saying formative assessment. Yes, it is correct. Still we will look for the next options. Certification, no. Selection, no. Promotion only, no. So ami topic eta pohalu moi, then moi jodi tar upor eta short quiz rakhu tetia hole moi gom pai jam je student e kiman bhalke bostu khini learn korise, okay, their understanding level, everything. So this comes under formative assessment. Ami koisilu je formative assessment teaching learning process ok improve korar eta method aru e through the teaching learning process hi soli thake, okay. So this is the best example of formative assessment. I hope tumaluke ei bostu tu monot rakhiba. Question number 19 is asking which research design is most appropriate for studying the opinions of a large group of students at a particular time, okay. So large group of students nokoi jodi moi large group of people kau tetia hole question to bujibole besi easy hobo je which research design is most appropriate for studying the opinions of a large group of people, okay. Eta bihot group of people ase aru teolukor opinions jodi ami janibo bisaru tetia hole research design or most appropriate option kuntu hobo. So that will be survey research. Survey research or through di ami eta large group of population cover kori teolukor opinions or kotha janibo paru. Tothapi ami baki options kita sai lo. Experimental research, no. Large group of population or khetrot ami experimental research conduct koribo nuaru. Historical research yat nohobo, clinical case research or case study yat nohobo, because as we need the opinions of a large group of people or large group of students, we have to go for this survey research, okay. So this is the perfect answer for this question. Question number 20 is asking a teacher praises a student immediately after the student completes a task correctly, okay. Jodi he ejon student e correctly eta task complete kori ase aru ami immediately after completing of the task if we praise the student, then this is an example of. So hetu kihor example hobo? it is an example of positive reinforcement. Okay, আমি student জনক positively encourage কৰিছো আৰু তেওঁ উৎসাহ দিছো তেওঁ ভৱিষ্যতেও তেনেকুৱাকে, because after completion of the task correctly we have praised him, so it is comes under positive reinforcement. It is not comes under punishment, so etu option nohoy. Negative transfer, no. Extinction, no. So very easily you can get the correct answer here. Question number 21 is asking which of the following is most important for effective classroom communication. So classroom effective communication or babe kuntu hobo most important. Let's quickly check the options. Option number 1 is saying speaking continuously, no. Option number B is saying using difficult terminologies, no. Option number C is saying providing opportunities for students to ask questions, yes. This will be your correct answer. Why? Because if we want to have an effective classroom communication, tetia hole ami student proper opportunity dibo lagibo to ask question. Okay, if student can ask question, they will get their answers and they will have an effective classroom communicable environment. That's why option C is the correct answer. Still we can check option number D. It is saying avoiding students participation. No, it is not a correct answer. So option number C is your correct one. Next question number 22 is asking a researcher selects 100 households from a population of 1000 households. The 100 households constitute the, okay, so 1000 households asile and tarpora researcher jone 100 households select korise as a sample size. So yar correct option to hoise sample. Okay, the 100 household constitute the sample. Why this is a sample? Because ami sample hey particular proportion to ko jitu eta huge large number of population or pora ami uthai anu to do the research work. Okay, that's why the 1000 household is the population. Okay, that's why population option to yat nohoy, because a total jiman asile tat household, that is the population. And tarpora 100 select kori ana gol. So a 100 je select hoy ahil, ekhini hoise sample. Okay, so sample lot beleg variables use hobo pare. So variable yat nohoy, hypothesis o yat nohoy. So a sample is a selected subset of a larger population. So it is just a subset of that larger population, and the sample used to represent the larger population. Question number 23 is asking which statement about children with disabilities is most appropriate. So let's check the option. Option number 1 is saying they should always be taught separately. No, Zodihe, there is a child with disability, we should never taught them separately. We should include them with others. They cannot participate in regular classroom. No, because we already know about the inclusive education. They should receive appropriate support to participate in learning. Yes, they should receive appropriate support. Okay, in inclusive education, what we mostly do, we give extra special support so that the disabled students can also grow with the other learners. That's why option number C is the correct one. And we should not use the word disabled, we should use differently able, because they have different I should say different type of abilities in them. Okay, option number D is saying their learning goals should always be removed. No, negative options were ami hodai remove kori jam. So this is not a correct one. So option number C is the correct answer here. Question number 24 is asking, a teacher changes the teaching strategy after observing that many students are unable to understand the lesson. This reflects, okay. So, jodi teacher jane dekhise je jothesho student e teo bujua khini buji pua nai, then he changes the strategy of teaching. So, this will falls under, is it reflective teaching? Is it mechanical teaching? Is it rote learning? Is it authoritarian learning or teaching? No, it is not authoritarian, it is not rote learning, it is not mechanical teaching, but it is reflective teaching. যদিহে মই টিচিং কৰি আছো and then মই observe কৰিলো যে কেবাজনো ষ্টুডেন্টে মই কি পঢ়াইছো বুজা নাই, তেতিয়া হলে মই মোৰ টিচিং স্ট্ৰেটেজিটো অকমান চেঞ্জ কৰি দিম so that they also can understand, and this is called the reflective one. Okay, reflective teaching. That's why option number A is the correct answer here, and we have given a brief explanation for this one. You can go through it. Question number 25 is asking, a student develops a new model for reducing plastic waste in the school. This activity mainly represents. So, student develops a new model. কিবা এটা create কৰিছে, কিবা এটা develop কৰিছে for reducing plastic waste in the school. Okay, this activity mainly represents. So, কি represent কৰে? Remember? No, ইয়াত remembering or একো কথা নাই. Understand? No, ইয়াত understanding or একো কথা নাই. Apply, ইয়াত apply একো কথা নাই. যদিহে মডেলটো কৰবাত apply হয়, that will be a different one. Create, yes, he has developed something, he has created something. Okay, student jone kiba eta develop korise, kiba eta create korise to solve a problem. So this mainly represents create. So option number D will be your correct answer. So we have a brief explanation here also. So we have discussed 25 MCQs for your upcoming Bodoland University B.Ed entrance test. All the best everyone, and we will meet in the next one. Thank you.